What comes to mind when you think of street food? Is it tacos? Noodles? Well, whatever it is, it's part of a global language of flavor, a daily ritual for an estimated 2.5 billion people around the world daily. But what if I told you that the food we grab from carts and stalls today isn't some modern fad? What if it's an echo from the bustling markets of ancient empires? We're about to count down some of the world's most popular street foods and uncover their incredible and sometimes shocking origins. Let's begin with a dish that fuels billions of people every single day: noodles. Whether they're swimming in a savory broth or sizzling in a wok, noodles are the definition of Asian street food. In 2005, archaeologists in China made an unbelievable discovery: a perfectly preserved bowl of noodles from 4,000 years ago. And get this, they weren't made of wheat, but from millet, a grain native to the region. And controversially, this finding suggests an Asian, not Italian origin for this staple dish. By the time of the Song dynasty, noodle shops were all over the cities, and mobile vendors would carry their kitchens on poles to serve people on the spot. This tradition of portable food stalls spread, and you can see its deep influence across Asia, including in the Philippines. Early Chinese traders introduced dishes like lumpia type of spring roll that became a Filipino staple. But Filipino street food also tells a story of incredible resourcefulness. Take isaw, for example, skewered and grilled chicken or pork intestines. This dish, born in the 1970s from the necessity of using every part of the animal, became a beloved, affordable snack grilled over charcoal on countless street corners. It shows how an ancient culinary tradition can evolve, blending cultural influences with local ingenuity. Next up is another ancient fast food staple. If you love fish and chips, you can thank the ancient Greeks and Romans. While people have been frying fish for ages, the tradition of selling it ready to eat on the street really took off in ancient Greece. But it was the Romans who turned street food into an art form born of necessity. In cities like Rome and Pompeii, most people lived in cramped apartments, or insulae, that often didn't have kitchens. So where did they eat? They hit the streets. That's right, street food in ancient Greece and Rome were for the peasants. Establishments called thermopolia were ancient fast food counters, serving hot meals to the working class. Archaeological digs from the volcanically preserved ancient city of Pompeii in Italy have found traces of fish, proving that a quick, crispy fish dinner has a legacy stretching back more than 2,000 years. Now I have to ask, are you surprised fried fish has an ancient history? What's your absolute favorite street food, and where did you first have it? Drop your story in the comments below. And if you had fun on this little food journey, hit that like button and subscribe for more delicious history. Let's jump to 18th century Naples, Italy, the birthplace of the pizza we know and love today. Back then, Naples was a crowded, bustling city, and many of its poorer residents, the Lazzarone, needed food that was cheap and easy to eat on the go. The solution came from street vendors who sold simple flatbreads topped with ingredients like garlic, lard, and eventually the newly introduced tomato. This humble street food was transformed in 1889 when Queen Margherita of Savoy visited Naples. A local pizza maker named Raffaele Esposito created a pizza for her with tomatoes, mozzarella, and basil to represent the colors of the new Italian flag. The Queen loved it. The pizza margherita was born. And a street snack for the poor was suddenly fit for royalty, setting it on a course for global fame. Now the humble hot dog, from ballparks to city sidewalks. The hot dog is a true American icon, but its story begins in Germany. German immigrants arriving in the US in the 1800s brought their beloved sausages, like the Frankfurter from Frankfurt and the Wiener from Vienna. These Dachshund sausages, nicknamed for their long, thin shape, were popular but messy to eat. The genius moment of putting the sausage in a bun is credited to a German immigrant named Charles Feltman. In 1867, he started selling sausages tucked into a custom-made roll from a pushcart on Coney Island, making them easy to eat without plates or utensils. His convenient beachside snack was a massive hit. And the American hot dog was born, quickly becoming a staple of street food culture. Let's fast forward a few decades to a modern street food legend, the taco al pastor. You know, the one marinated pork, shaved right off that vertical spit, the trompo. It's a pillar of Mexican cuisine, right? Well, what if I told you its story actually begins halfway across the world? In the 1930s, Lebanese immigrants arrived in Mexico and brought with them their iconic shawarma lamb roasted on a vertical spit. At first, they served it on a pita-style bread and called it tacos arabes. But then something amazing happened. By the 1960s, the next generation, born and raised in Mexico, put their own spin on it. They swapped the lamb for pork, marinated it in a classic Mexican blend of chilies and spices, and served it on a corn tortilla. They even named it al pastor, or shepherd style, as a nod to its shawarma origins from the Lebanese. It's the perfect, delicious proof that migration and cultural fusion create the best food. Of course, we can't talk street food without mentioning the global superstar, French fries. But that very name is the heart of a delicious controversy. So, who do we thank for these golden sticks of perfection? France or Belgium? The Belgians tell a story from the late 17th century, where villagers who usually fried small fish from the river started frying potatoes instead when the river froze over. It's a great story. But food historians often point to Paris, where street vendors were selling frites on the Pont Neuf Bridge as early as the 1780s. So where did the French part come from? The most popular theory is that American soldiers stationed in a French-speaking part of Belgium during World War I fell in love with the local fried potatoes. They called them French fries, and the name stuck. So who's the real inventor? The debate rages on. But honestly, does it matter when they taste this good? From the streets of ancient Rome to the food trucks of modern Mexico, street food tells the story of who we are. It's a culinary tradition born from necessity that's now a global art form. The next time you grab a bite from a cart or a stall, just remember, you're not just eating, you're tasting a piece of history. Street food isn't just fast food eats, a living museum of our shared heritage. The future of street food is always evolving, with new fusions and flavors popping up every day. But at its heart, it will always be a celebration of culture that you can hold right in your hand, connecting us to ancient civilizations and tells incredible stories of migration, innovation, and survival. It's an affordable, delicious experience that brings everyone together.